I have no idea how it's happened, but I have somehow managed to accumulate not one, not two, not three, but 7 microphones over the past several years. I am not an audio guy by any stretch. I don't do this for a living. I guess I'd consider myself a hobbyist, but I am not an expert on any of this stuff whatsoever. So take anything that I talk about in this video with a grain of salt, because again, I'm probably not providing the correct information, and that's okay. You know, I think the point of this video is just to try out a couple different microphones and see how they sound, and see if one sounds better than another. And hopefully, if there's someone out there that is interested in one of these microphones, they hear it for themselves and they decide to either purchase it or not based off of the experience. Actually, that's a bad idea to do it based off of the experience here, because I don't know what I'm doing. But be that as it may, we're going to have some fun here and just, again, test out some of these microphones. Now, a couple things before we get started. I am using a couple of things right now to get into my, I'm recording this all in OBS, directly into the computer through my USB audio interface, which is a solid state Logic SSL 2 Plus. And there's a couple of other things that I need in order to connect some of these microphones. So the first thing is this Audio-Technica mic booster. I will need that for this Rode PodMic. And the other thing I'll need is this Rode VXLR Plus. And I need that for any of the microphones that have a 3.5mm input. It's like a step down. It takes the 48 volt phantom power and steps it down to I think somewhere between 3 and 5 volts. So what I'd like to do is just go over the microphones, not necessarily the specs, but just tell you, exactly which microphones I have here in front of me. And then again, we'll hook them up to the SSL2, and I'll read an excerpt from some random book, and we can compare them, and have some fun with it. So anyways, let's take a look at some of these microphones. And I've got these set up in order, based on order from price. So it's going to go from least expensive to most expensive. And the most expensive option here I have is like $300, which you'll see when we go through this. So again, this is not like super expensive stuff, very generic stuff you can get everywhere. There's no specialty items here. It's just stuff that I've gotten over the years, and some have worked out great and others I hardly use at all. So let's give it a whirl. Okay, so the first one up here is the Sony. It's a lavalier mic. It's no longer being sold, but I think I bought it for like $22, $23. Yeah, I bought it back here on March 24th, 2021. It's the Sony ECMC S3 omnidirectional stereo microphone. This one's kind of cool because it's got, right and left channels. So if you want to set your microphone up as a stereo input, you can do that. I don't. I set it up as mono. But you certainly have the ability to do that with this particular microphone. And I hate the silver color, so I actually put a piece of black electrical tape over the face of mine. In fact, let me see if I can find it here. Here. Yeah, so you can see this. Here, let me go back here. So that is, again, just some black electrical tape that I threw on top of it because normally it's that silver color. Next one up is the Rode Video Micro. This is an on-camera microphone. Again, this doesn't have a battery or anything. This one has, it uses the power from your camera and it plugs directly into your camera. So you don't need to worry about anything there, which is really nice. It's actually very handy. But this, I've actually, in the past, I used this a ton. I don't use it very much anymore because I have a different microphone, but in the past I used this quite a bit. Next is a Rode Lavalier. Oh, the price on this Video Micro was $60. At the time I bought mine, it was, I think $50. Inflation. All right, this is the Rode Lavalier GO. This is $80, and this is an omnidirectional lavalier microphone, and this is very high quality, and you'll hear that. Hopefully, that'll come through when we do the tests. Next is the Rode PodMic, which is this one right here. Sorry, back to this one right here. I absolutely love the look of this particular microphone. And at 99 bucks, it really is a bargain for what it is. It's a dynamic microphone. This particular microphone is very gain hungry, so that's why you do need that mic booster, I found anyways. Maybe there's other audio interfaces that do a better job of providing it with the power that it needs. I know Rode makes a like a podcaster or something like that. See, I'm screwing up. You know, I know all the things that these companies sell, but anyways, Rode makes a device, an interface device, an audio input device that does a much better job of providing power to this particular microphone. All right, next is the microphone that I am talking on right now. That's this one right here. This is the Audio-Technica AT2035. It's an XLR condenser microphone, so the only thing it requires is the 48 volt phantom power, and you do not need any type of mic booster. They do make mic boosters for condenser mics, but my experience has been you really don't need to purchase those, because most audio interfaces have plenty of power to power these condenser microphones. And this is 150 bucks. This is a very good value, my own personal opinion, because I think it sounds great. Next is an Audio-Technica. Let's see if I can find that one in my bag of tricks here. That is this one right here. Take the sleeve off so you can kind of see it. Tough to get it in shot here. Anyways, this one's a shotgun microphone. It's also a condenser microphone. And it's 250 bucks. This one was one of the more expensive purchases. It's the Audio-Technica AT897. Again, it's 250 bucks. I bought it at the store called Micro Center, which is local here to me. I live in Boston, and there's one in Cambridge right down the street. So I tend to buy things in there. The nice thing is you know, if you look here, it's a reserve now, so you can't purchase this. This has been terrific, especially during the past 18 months or so when stuff is selling out everywhere online. You actually have to physically go to the store to buy these items, and that way they keep their retail store afloat rather than just shipping everything out from warehouses, which I think is pretty cool. And then lastly is the Rode Wireless Go 2. And this one is $300, $299. But it is incredibly versatile. There's so many things that you can do with this. I use this one all the time, and I'm very happy with it. So yeah, those are the 7 microphones. Let's I'm gonna do my best to speak the same way into all the microphones. I'll just read the same passage, and again, I'll level off the audio at the end so that we can then maybe be able to tell which one sounds the best out of all of them. But I'm not going to do much post-processing on the audio because, quite frankly, I don't know what I'm doing when I do that. So I'm just going to try and level off the audio as best I can. All right, let's get into it. Okay, this first one is the Sony lavalier microphone. The night was perfectly still, in the air so dry and pure that it gave little sensation of cold. The effect produced on Frome was rather of a complete absence of atmosphere, as though nothing less tenuous than ether intervened between the white earth under his feet and the metallic dome overhead. Okay, this one's the Rode Video Micro. Again, $60 right now, and it normally, I think it goes on sale for like 50 bucks. The night was perfectly still, and the air so dry and pure that it gave little sensation of cold. The effect produced on Frome was rather of a complete absence of atmosphere, as though nothing less tenuous than ether intervened between the white earth under his feet and the metallic dome overhead. Okay, this is the Rode Lavalier GO microphone. The night was perfectly still, in the air so dry and pure that it gave little sensation of cold. The effect produced on Frome was rather of a complete absence of atmosphere, as though nothing less than tenuous then ether intervened between the white earth under his feet and the metallic dome overhead. Okay, now we're on the Rode PodMic. The night was perfectly still, and the air so dry and pure that it gave little sensation of cold. The effect produced on Frome was rather of a complete absence of atmosphere, as though nothing less tenuous than ether intervened between the white earth under his feet and the metallic dome overhead. Okay, now we're on the Audio-Technica AT2035. The night was perfectly still, and the air so dry and pure that it gave little sensation of cold. The effect produced on Frome was rather of a complete absence of atmosphere, as though nothing less tenuous than ether intervened between the white earth under his feet and the metallic dome overhead. Okay, now we're on the Audio-Technica AT897. Again, this is the $250 microphone, so I would hope it sounds good. The night was perfectly still, and the air so dry and pure that it gave little sensation of cold. The effect produced on Frome was rather of a complete absence of atmosphere, as though nothing less tenuous than ether intervened between the white earth under his feet and the metallic dome overhead. Okay, now I'm on the Rode Wireless Go 2 system. The night was perfectly still, and the air so dry and pure that it gave little sensation of cold. The effect produced on Frome was rather of a complete absence of atmosphere, as though nothing less tenuous than ether intervened between the white earth under his feet and the metallic dome overhead. Okay, so late entry here, the Rode VideoMic NTG. This is why we call this channel Random Tech, because I'm not that smart. And I thought I had 7 microphones, but apparently not. Apparently I have 8. I think I got problems. Anyways, let me just show you this mic real quick. The night was perfectly still, and the air so dry and pure that it gave little sensation of cold. The effect produced on Frome was rather of a complete absence of atmosphere, as though nothing less tenuous than ether intervened between the white earth under his feet and the metallic dome overhead. The results are in. What did you think sounded the best? I was actually very surprised by the microphone that I'm holding in my hand right now, this Rode VideoMic NTG. I never really considered this a microphone to be used in the home office here, but man, it sounds really good. It's a very warm sound, and I could probably put it a further distance away too, as opposed to this other microphone, this AT2035. Maybe let's just go through them one by one and I'll give you some thoughts on them. Okay, so the first one here, this Sony lavalier microphone was not very good. It was $20-something. It'll work in a pinch, but you probably don't want to use it for any type of professional work. The Rode Video Micro actually sounded really good. I think with that, you just need to be very close to the microphone. So, it's not particularly powerful. It's, it needs a tremendous amount of gain to really perform well. And most cameras are not gonna have that. The preamps in cameras are typically very weak or noisy. The Rode Lavalier GO, I think that microphone sounded terrific. Again, the way that's supposed to be used, you're not supposed to use it out here. It's just attached to your shirt or a lapel or a collar or anywhere on the chest area. So it sounds quite a bit different when you put it there, and it sounds much better. So, but yeah, even still, you could tell the quality of the microphone just by listening to me hold it in my hand and read that excerpt. The PodMic, the Rode PodMic, it is a terrific sounding dynamic microphone. I just don't think, for whatever reason, for my voice, and again, you tell me otherwise, that my voice sounds particularly good using that type of microphone. I'm not quite sure. I don't sound like Joe Rogan, that's for sure. So, he uses, and most podcasters do use dynamic microphones, but I don't know. I have a fairly controlled environment here, so I don't have a lot of exterior noises, except when the dog goes bananas. But for the most part, it's relatively quiet in here. The Audio-Technica AT2035. In fact, let's switch back over to that now. Okay, so now I'm back on the AT2035. Does this sound any better than the Rode VideoMic NTG? Do you prefer that sound? Which one sounds better to you? Personally, I think I probably still prefer this, but this is like battery operated. You know, you can see the lights that are on here. It's, you know, it's not really designed to be a microphone that's connected to your audio interface at all times. The Audio-Technica AT897, so that was the other shotgun microphone. I thought that sounded really, really good. Really good, crisp, clear, good pickup. Again, that's designed to be much further away than where I had it. But again, it's you can tell that's a very good, high quality microphone. And then the Rode Wireless Go 2, you know, that's not intended to be used in an audio interface. You can in a pinch, but it's really not designed to do that. It's meant to be when you're out in the field, you know, run and gun type style. You just connect it to your shirt, or it has the. I usually like to plug the lavalier mic into one of the transmitters, so so that the audio just sounds really, really good. So anyways, if I had to pick an overall winner, it'd be tough, really tough. I think it would be probably between these two right here. You know, this VideoMic NTG and the AT2035. But again, that's my opinion. What do you think? Did you hear something that you liked, maybe that I'm missing? Because again, I'm probably biased, as we all are, into what we hear, but everyone hears differently. So put your comments down below. Which one did you think sounded best? If this was at all helpful, or even like mildly entertaining, if you could just hit that like button, as well as subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it, and it would encourage me to do more videos like this. Thanks for watching.